So the number for the October traffic for the airlines is out. What does the number say? The numbers say that there has been a degrowth of 57% in October, carrying 52.7 lakh passengers. Now, that's not a lot of an issue given the fact that the airlines were allowed only to operate at a 60% capacity. So 40% year-on-year drop is anyhow expected. So let's really look at the load factor, the capacity at which the current flights are working with, and that's somewhere you will realize that the market is still not back to normal, because the load factors carried by major airlines revolved from 61% as the lowest to 74% being the highest. Now let's go company-wise, and let's start with IndiGo. IndiGo is one of the largest player. It has a market share of 55% in October. It had a 68.2% load factor. That means that on an average, almost 30% of the seats which were flying on an aircraft were empty. That is for IndiGo. Now let's look at the other player, which is SpiceJet. Now, SpiceJet has a market share of 13.4%. But what's the good thing? The good thing here is that the load factor of SpiceJet was the highest, and it stood at a 74% load factor. Air India was the third highest. The market share was 9.4%. The load factor, however, for Air India was 62%. That means that almost 38% of flights on an average was going empty. But remember that November is the season which will see good growth, which will see better numbers. Month on month, anyhow, there has been an improvement. September was a festive month, but the amount of travel which has to happen does not happen so much in Navratri, Durga Puja. The amount it happens in Diwali. Diwali is one of the main festivals where you see in the festive season really people going home, people really traveling back home. That is something which data is very important data. And in fact, in November, DGCA has also allowed 70% of the capacity to be functional. And we'll have to really wait and watch what happens in November to really get a sense of the recovery in the markets. Now, IndiGo has gone ahead and said that financially they have managed to come to a stage where they are really, running in a financial viable space. There is no stress when it comes to the future of the company. SpiceJet, the load factors have been really good, 74% in the current market. Really says that there are flights which are operating to areas where the market share is high, and more importantly, if you look at the number, looking at the growth of 57%, what I'm saying again is that 40% was because of year-on-year traffic which had gone by, but still there's a gap of 17%. That means that the market is still not back to the way it was. November data will be very important given that's the festive season where everybody travels back home.